Hey, there we are, Kyle. It's Troy
And
and
Kyle
Kyle.
and
Oh,
Fatigue.
fatigue, and my head's too big. You can't really see the T-Rex. I gotta duck down for that.
They
I'll get
I had
over
to
it.
get them in the video
There, the whole team's here
for
today.
the festivities.
Absolutely. Well, we're on the Adaptive Athlete TV channel.
Yeah,
What do you know about adaptive athletics?
I know I need to practice more and train more for the different sports, but um,
We have a special guest today.
actually two.
Two special
Bringing in
guests. That's right.
Susie and Connor, two of my teammates from sled hockey, but also from wheelchair lacrosse, who have both of them have a very lengthy history with adaptive sports. So bringing them on board allows me to learn more about how they've trained. They both have spina bifida, so how they train is different than the way I would train, but also with their experience and just getting on the ice or the court with them uh, with wheelchair lacrosse is just a blast because they're incredibly great people, but both incredibly good athletes.
Well, and we've been lucky because they were here before.
Yep, we
So
had,
this is a
yep,
returning
yep,
podcast.
yep, yep,
So we're
yep,
excited to see them
yep,
and delve
yep,
into a little deeper into what they were talking about. We had a lot of
exactly.
people
Yep.
interested in what they said the first time.
Yeah, we had the last time we had probably spent a little more time talking to Connor about his history. This time we're gonna focus more on Susie. She was one of the first adaptive athletes I met with sled hockey, and um, I mean, talk about a great way to start with somebody. She's been playing sled hockey for well since Mary Freebed started their team, good 15, 20 years ago, and very accommodating,
I'm
very
hearing buzzing all around me.
yeah. I was
Where's
hoping it
that
was a
noise
football
coming
going on.
from?
Yeah.
People are looking at
Yep.
me going,
Yep.
"What's he doing
Yep.
over there?" Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, I
So
was well, and then somehow I was able to sweet talk both of them into joining the wheelchair lacrosse team.
nice.
And Connor picked up on something great. Susie, a little more laid back, but her hockey sense really she's always in the right position. She's so smooth on the ice, and same thing wheelchair lacrosse. Um, we've got a couple other teammates that they are always in the right position. They're always making the right pass, and they've played for so many years. It astounds me.
Well,
They
we'll have
know
to
the
ask
game.
her about that because do you think that as an athlete, and I was an athlete,
Hmm. I
um,
try, but I don't know.
you're an athlete.
Yeah, yeah.
You do
I
more
try to be. Yeah,
sports than anybody I
yeah.
know.
Well,
Um,
yep.
but we'll have to ask her about that. Do you think that you can train that anticipation of being where the was what Gretzky used to say, I don't go where the puck is, I go where it's going to be. Like, do you think you can really train that?
I think when you played for that many
We'll have to
years,
ask her.
there it's just automatic. When you watch some of the folks that were, and I call these guys my kids because they literally are young enough to be my kids, but they've been playing sled hockey for 15, 20 years. There's my man Connor. Look
Yeah,
at
we're
your
here.
life goes, Connor.
We're here.
Hi.
We're both
You
here.
guys gotta squeeze in so we can
Pretend
see
like
both y'all.
pretend like you like one another.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we're moving.
Hey, look at their view out the back window. That's nice.
We were just kind of giving the folks out there in YouTube world a little history about how I got to meet you guys, with Susie being one of the first adaptive athletes I had met on the sled hockey team, and then we kind of coerced Connor to come to Michigan. But
Oh, you really had to pull my arm. You really had to yank my arm on that one.
well, yeah, I'm glad it stayed intact because we need you out there. But I also brought up that our last video, Connor, we had a good discussion about your history of the different adaptive sports you
Yep.
played, but we didn't really delve into everything that Susie's done, and I'm still just amazed. Susie, what did you start with, and what have you tried? What haven't you tried? Everything, even the clinics and everything.
So, so I guess in the very beginning, everything kind of pretty much started at Mary Freebed. I did my PT through them at a very young age, and that's kind of what brought me aware to everything else that they had to offer. So I started at a really young age with the swim lessons. That was one of the first things I did through Mary Freebed. And then the hockey at a real young age. and tennis. Those were the two main programs. And throughout the years, you know, growing up, we did a bunch of different clinics that they offered. Sailing, drawing a blank, water skiing, snow skiing, which I wasn't a fan of. It's just too high off the ground for me. But I've tried that. I've tried archery, which I really loved recently,
I like archery.
and a ton of other things. I'd have to think some more, but those are a few.
Share with the folks out there in adaptive athlete world, how long you've been playing sled hockey?
25 years.
5 years.
That's
Nice.
that just still blows me away because you were one of the founding members of the
Yep.
the Sled Wings up in Grand Rapids with Mary Free Bed.
Yep.
And Troy and I were talking that one of the things that astounds me with both you and Tyler on our team, because he was one of the, how you guys are always in the right position, make the right pass. You think that just the years of training and playing, or do you think that's part of your makeup?
It's definitely the training. I mean, it takes you a while to get there. And like I said before, I think in the other interview we did with you, we practiced for 3 or 4 years before we traveled and did any competition anywhere, just to get used to the sleds, because they didn't know that it was going to turn into a team. At first, they just said, hey, you know, we'll see if we get enough athletes to actually make it a team. And then, you know, more and more people were interested and kept wanting to try it. And then we got to the point where we were like, okay, you know, we're ready to travel. We're ready to compete with other teams and, you know, have actual tournaments. So it did take a while to build the chemistry, I guess. But I mean, we've been playing and Connor too, you know, we've all been playing for forever together. So, because before Connor was on the team with us, him and Tyler actually knew each other before him and I knew each other. So
and Chris
Mellon.
we were all on the at that point it was the U20 no, we had started playing together on the junior USA team. So we knew each other. We've known each other for years because of that team. It was like a step down from the Paralympic team at the time. And so when we would travel together, it would be me, Tyler, and Chris, and all these other guys that would travel. We were in like a West Coast league, so we were traveling to Colorado, Utah, Arizona. I think one time we went to California, and then, of course, we were on the junior team that went to the we had like a coinciding tournament with the Paralympics in 2010. So we got to experience that whole thing.
When they won.
We were actually at the game that they won against Japan
in 2010.
2010. So the start of their so-called dynasty as of right now.
So for anybody out there that's even considering adaptive sports, what I'm hearing is not only do you get to compete, but you get to meet some incredibly great people, which I'll completely agree with. But the traveling, because you were 20 years of age.
Yep.
And you guys were traveling across the nation to different tournaments.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot of travel involved.
I'll never forget my senior year of high school my junior year of high school was 2010. And we went into a meeting with our principal, and my parents were like, hey, he's on this team. It's a great experience, but he's going to miss a lot of school. You know, what does he have to do? And my principal just took one look at me and he goes, you're going to Vancouver in 2010, right? I said, yeah. And he goes, just bring me back something from Vancouver and we'll call it even. So, you know, it's
so
those people.
What did you bring back?
I think I bought him back a sweatshirt or something along those lines. But yeah, it was just getting to experience that and just playing with people from all across the country. It's been a great that was a great time. It still is to this day.
Camaraderie.
Now,
Yeah.
where's the furthest that you went? Was it Vancouver?
Vancouver. As of right now, was Vancouver was the farthest I've traveled.
Mhm.
Suze.
I think in the US for me it was California. We've gone as far as California because nationals changes every year. The
Yes.
location changes every year. So the farthest I've ever been for nationals was California. And then when I was on the women's team, we also went to Canada. I think it wasn't Vancouver for us, but it was
Probably Windsor over the
I
border
don't
in
remember.
Ontario.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah.
You brought up tennis, and I've talked to you about your history of playing tennis, but
Mhm.
share with Troy and everybody out there about your experience as a tennis player. And I'm not going to put the word adaptive in front because you are a tennis player.
Yeah, so I had been involved with tennis ever since maybe a little bit longer than hockey, but around the same time. So I had been playing about the same amount until I think I quit right after high school, just because I was more involved in the hockey. I was on 2 hockey teams at that point, so I was just a little too busy for tennis. But I started at a real young age. Not really competitively, just kind of, going to practice to stay active. And, but, it was something that I really enjoyed and thought as I got older that I would be more competitive in it. So I had done a couple different tournaments through Mary Free Bed that they do with the adaptive athletes. But when I was in high school, my mom said, well, why don't you try out for the team at the school? And I said, yeah, I could give that a try. I was me and one other girl that was a grade or two younger than me. We were the only ones in our district that were in wheelchairs. So
With
I
the
knew,
able-bodied high school tennis team.
yeah, yep. So I said, okay, I'll at least go talk to the coach and see what he thinks, about me being on the team or at least trying out for the team. And he said, yeah, absolutely, come to tryouts. And I ended up making the team. So I was on JV and varsity. So, yep.
Can play tennis on 2 legs, let alone being in a wheelchair playing against the 2 legs.
You did cover that briefly in our last,
Yep.
and that was just dumbfounding to me. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely took time getting used to playing with able-bodied. Like I said, the only difference for me was 2 bounces rather than 1 to get to the ball. But otherwise it was all the same scoring and everything. And I was, just because of the fact that that was the only thing I had done while doing it recreationally, I decided to be a doubles partner just because it was easier for me. But yeah, I had a great time. We went, did, our regular tournaments I don't know, it was probably every week or so, or every couple weeks that we had tournaments and stuff through school. Had practice once a week after school that I'd go to. And yeah, it was really cool to show my classmates, hey, even though I'm disabled, I can join you and play a sport that I also love.
With your history of tennis, have you tried pickleball?
No, I don't think
Well,
no,
Not yet?
Yep.
I have not.
I think
I don't think I've heard of it, but I've never played it.
They had a
I've
pickleball.
been wanting to try that in a chair. I think that'd be interesting.
They had a pickleball. We were just in Gaylord, Michigan,
For hockey.
for hockey, and at the same arena, they had like a pickleball.
Yeah, it was like
there.
a sport. It was a sports center. They
Yeah.
had a
Yeah.
pool, a hockey rink, and then they had a pickleball
Yeah.
court. But no, that's one that I've never tried.
You guys didn't pick up a paddle and try while you were there. Too
No.
busy.
Nah.
No,
Nope.
not that time.
Now, Susie, you had mentioned skiing, and I know there are different ways that, as an amputee, I can try skiing. When you said you were too high off the surface, were you doing the setting down skiing?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I tried it a couple times through the Mary Free Bed clinics, and I don't know, I remember falling one time and I like extended my arm as I fell, and I was like, yeah, I'm not a fan of this anymore. And I was like, yeah,
I want to try. I actually want to try it.
he wants to
I want
try
to
it.
try it real bad.
That's on my
So
bucket list too, Connor, because I've
Yeah.
skied quite a bit and I want to try it as an adaptive athlete.
Sounds
Yeah.
like a weekend is planned here. We go do a little football
Yeah.
group, and we go some skiing.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
I'll just come and watch that part.
Yeah.
You don't have to ski because we know you don't like it necessarily. All right.
Yeah,
But
someone's gonna have to pick Connor and I up off the snow. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Well, then of all the sports you played and all the clinics, are there any that you have yet to try that you want to? Because I'm not sure.
I don't think if there have been
My discussion
any.
with you, I'm not sure there is anything you haven't tried.
What's left?
I'm trying to think of all the emails that I get from Mary Free Bed. If there's, like I said, the pickleball has been a clinic that I have not tried yet.
I want to try
trying to
the.
think
I
if
want to
there's
try
any
the
others.
the downhill snow skiing, and just to take a crack at it, I want to do. I want to try the archery because I did.
You would really like it.
I did the archery. I did an archery class in high school, and I was pretty good at that. So I'm just wondering, have my skills changed? In the last 13 years since I graduated high school. So
Yeah, these are my kids.
Yeah, they're young.
No, fencing for either one of you?
Yes,
I would try it. I would
I
wholeheartedly.
forgot that you haven't tried
I
that.
haven't
I have
tried-
tried fencing.
Yeah, I haven't tried that one yet either.
Connor, you got to try it.
Yeah.
My only complaint about that one was it's a lot of shoulder strength.
Oh.
And I'm left-handed for everything. I'm not ambidextrous in anything I do. Well, I mean, you kind of have to be for sled hockey, but so I did that for about a year through Mary Free Bed, and I really liked it, but it was just a lot of shoulder strength that you had to have, and it just wasn't for me. I would definitely try it again, though.
Yeah, I would definitely try it for the first
So
time.
speaking of strength,
Mhm.
as
Good
the trainer in the
good
room,
segue.
that's right.
Sorry.
No, that was perfect. That was a perfect segue into strength training and all that.
What are you doing now currently for either one of you really can answer this.
Mhm.
And how does it compare to what you did on the national teams and the other things that you've done?
You want to start or you want me to start?
Ladies first.
So
Connor.
currently, because it's winter, we both go to the gym a lot. We have a membership at Planet Fitness. And so we're there. We try to make a goal of going at least 3 days a week, depending on weather, because we're obviously both in the wheelchairs and it's difficult to get out in the winter. But the gym mainly right now, cardio a lot at the gym.
Yep.
There's a lot that we do on the Bosu ball for strength training and cardio. And that's the main thing we do in the winter is that, because like I had mentioned in the interview before, I do a lot of swimming at my grandma's house in the summer. But I don't have a membership at the Y, so that I wish I did have, but just for the swimming aspect. But that's a big thing in the summer because our coach is really big on that will help you get faster, the swimming will. So that's something that we do a lot in the summer.
Also, I just bought right when I got here last year, I purchased a hand cycle, and the hand cycling we would do quite often, just to get your cardio up, and it also works your shoulders quite a bit too. So you go back and down to the end of our road is a mile and a quarter. So if you do that more than one, you do down and back, you're already at almost 3 miles.
Yeah, we usually just do around I say the block, but we have like a little triangle type where our roads meet. Yeah. And so we usually do that with the hand cycles in the summer, just because sometimes we ride to the trail, but that's, even farther. And actually, very first time I ever rode like more than 10 miles was with Tyler,
Yep.
our teammate. And I was like, I wanted to die afterwards. I was like, I don't know why I just did
keep
that.
up the cardio.
But typically we do, like, I would say 3 miles a day when we do it.
Yeah, 3 miles a day. And then you're over the summer on a good day or on a good week, you're probably talking close to 20 miles on the bike.
Yeah.
Throughout,
he really motivates me. Like, normally I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, you got to pick up your pace.
Man.
But
In another video, there's I had brought my hand cycle bike in and
okay.
got in and tried it out.
It was tough. It was tough.
Yeah.
I couldn't even.
Kyle, have you ever done where it's like mounted? Tyler has this thing where it's mounted and you can do it in the winter.
Oh,
I
yeah,
forget, I don't know what you call it.
Yeah.
Indoor trainer wheels.
Yeah. Yep. I lied. I have tried one of those at Grand Valley when they did the kids camp, the wheelchair sports camp. They brought one in and I was like, this is insane. Like, I mean, it's even harder when you're not, on the ground. It's crazy.
And then also, over the summer, kind of like a cross sport training kind of a thing. We, as you know, we picked up lacrosse this past year. So, it's a good segue to, work in hockey. And then I think we have like a week off between hockey and lacrosse.
Mm-hmm.
So, even then, it's, you're always going, you're always training.
And being married to him, I'm always on the go.
I'm always the good, being originally from New Jersey, I'm always the go, don't quit, kind of a guy. So, but
Susie, you had talked about your training, and I never really thought about this, that you guys are not working out just in the wheelchair. You're doing strength training outside the wheelchair as well.
Yep.
Correct. Yep.
Correct.
Out and about. So, but you guys are training a completely different way than I would have thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what, like, a lot of people, like, even not in wheelchairs, they assume that we probably work out in our chairs the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But we're getting out, we're getting on the Bosu ball. We use the basically bands.
Yep.
And there's these little half circle things on the jungle gym at our gym, and we're, pulling
cardio,
doing cardio.
Yep.
And I honestly, there's quite a few different what do you call those? The cables.
Yes,
there's different cable workouts that we can do on the jungle gym that we have at the gym. But honestly, the best workout that he doesn't like to get on the floor, but the best workouts that I can get are on the floor.
Yeah.
Doing different things on the floor.
What are you doing on the floor? What's a couple of the exercises that you like?
I do a lot of core on the floor.
Or on the floor.
Yeah, now she's writing poetry.
I did not mean to rhyme.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of core. I'm used to doing PT because I've had different hockey injuries. Like my shoulder injury that I've had, that was probably around 10 years ago. I couldn't tell you exactly what happened within the shoulder, but I basically got hit against the boards, and my shoulder kind of like went like this. And ever since then, I had to do PT for that. So there's been different PT sessions that I've done for different things, where I've learned to do stuff either from the floor or from a bed, and that sort of thing.
I just like to work. I like to work on the machines.
He's a machine guy.
Yeah, I'm more of a machine.
I'm not.
And occasionally the free weight, kind of guy. But I like to work.
Because the resistance band, the cable cross, dumbbells, so
a little combination.
Yeah, a little combination, everything, make it fit.
Yep, absolutely.
What's your cardio of choice? I know you do some cardio on the Bosu ball, but if you weren't doing it on the Bosu, what would you pick?
They have a machine, I forget what it's called, but for able-bodied, you would use your knee flexion and then pull with your arms. I'm not very technical with
Yeah, I
these
know exactly
machines,
yeah.
but it's basically it's water resistant.
It's like a rowboat. It's a
row.
rowing machine.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Rowing.
It's a rowing machine.
So we do that a lot. I like that because of the water resistance while
Yeah.
you're not in a pool. Like if you don't have,
Sure.
access to a pool.
All the upper body that we're using in our sports anyways.
Yep.
Mhm.
And we try to do Connor laughs at me, but on leg day, we try to do different leg exercises, but both of us, I mean, he's got the stronger legs than I do.
That's for me because I do one leg day.
Yeah. Yep.
You guys
But,
do legs day. I get leg day. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
but yeah, so we mainly focus on upper body and core. Core is probably, even though it's evil, it's probably my favorite workout day.
Mm-hmm.
Because
it also translates to off, like when you're not training to be an athlete, the core is like, okay, you got to lift yourself up during the day. You got to transfer from different, from place to place, maybe out of your chair sometimes, and back into your chair. So it not only translates to stuff that you're doing as an athlete, but like as
everyday
far
life.
as far as us, it's everyday life. You got to have a little bit of core strength, or something could happen. So that's why you train.
I haven't really thought about that, but yeah,
Makes sense.
everything we have to do for our sports
Yep.
helps us in our day to day.
Day to day.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a sense there's like a split routine that you guys are doing. So you have a leg day and you've got a core day, and
Yeah.
So
how to
we
explain how you guys do that. Like I understand, but our listeners might not.
right. So we have a plan that our friend came up with, who also has the same disability, used to play the same sport. We were kind of like, hey, we're gonna start working out together when we both moved to Michigan. And actually we worked out before that in Jersey when we lived in Jersey.
Yep.
But we said, hey, we knew he was basically a gym junkie, and said, hey, we want to know because as an athlete, you work out, you train and everything, but I didn't necessarily know what muscles worked together as you were lifting.
You just go to work out to just kind of like work out kind of a thing. It's not,
So,
there wasn't really like a science behind it, essentially.
So as I wanted to get better, said, hey, can you kind of show us a workout plan of like what muscles work together? And he said, yeah, absolutely. So we do Mondays and Fridays are the same. Tuesday, Thursday are the same. And then Wednesday is our only core day, which we switch up. Like we do core on more days than just one, just because we like it.
We'll switch it up depending on like if we're just coming off a tournament and that sort of thing. We're not going to go really, really hard in the gym on our arms. We could work.
Shoulders.
Yeah, we could work on our core and then give our muscles and bones time to relax. And then we'll break, like if we know we have a tournament coming up, we'll do an extra arm workout or we'll do
cardio.
Yeah, or more cardio. Exactly. Like if we were to go today, we'd probably go and do a little bit more cardio because we have practice, tomorrow. And so it all depends on kind of like the situation, given the situation. Do we have a tournament coming up? Or are we just doing it just to stay healthy, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Let me get this one last question in and then go for you. But so my last question is your strength training time and your cardio time. How much are each of those? And I know it's going to vary per day a little bit, but generally speaking, how long are you lifting weights or body weight type exercises, and how much cardio time? And then what's the total daily?
Well, for me, at least, I'm doing about an hour to like maybe an hour and a half worth of cardio. Like if I'm doing cardio day, I'm doing an hour and a half of cardio where for about 30 minutes, I'm going, semi hard. And then like 30 minutes with like short breaks in between, I'm going, as hard as I can, as far as that goes. And, trying to work out, work up a sweat, kind of a thing.
For me, I like to do stick with our set days and then either start or end with cardio. And that's kind of where his friend comes into play. He's like, you should do cardio this or this time or whatever. But typically I like to either start or end with, I usually typically start with the cardio. That way it gets your heart rate up for the rest of the workout.
How long are you doing that typically?
The cardio, we usually do, if we're trying really hard, we do like a minute on, minute off kind of a thing for probably 5 minutes straight.
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
we
and then
usually-
we'll take a break and then we'll just get back. Yeah, we'll get back into it.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing.
So I would say it's about 5 minutes on and off.
Yeah.
Your training that you're doing, the Monday, Friday, and the Tuesday, Thursday, is that basically year round, or do you adapt it a little bit for the different sports you're involved in?
I would say we adapt because
I mean, definitely.
If we're
in the summer, it's not as much in the gym as much as we'd like to. It's more cardio.
It's more the biking
and swimming.
In true Michigan fashion, there's snow on the ground, so you can't really bike in the snow. So you're more or less, in the gym doing that. And then again, for the other sports like lacrosse, we're biking to get the cardio up, and then
playing catch in the yard.
Playing catch in the yard with a lacrosse ball, and that sort of thing. So it all depends on season.
We have the gym membership year round, but I would say we definitely are in the gym a lot less in the summer just because we have so much other stuff going on. But we do try at least to get the cardio in.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like kind of the friend of yours that has the same disability, but also has that training experience. Sounds like having that trainer per se, or somebody to help you with the workouts, has definitely made it easier for you to work out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. He lives in New Jersey. So, it's basically just phone calls or saying, hey, how should we switch it up? That sort of thing.
I'll message him like as I'm going to the gym, and I'm just like, hey, what am I doing today? And he'll throw a workout at me, and I'm just like, all right, I'll go and do that. So he's really like, even if it's not really the best day, he's like, all right, just go to the gym, work out for a little bit, and you'll feel better.
Very evil in the fact that he'll throw us random.
Trainers are always evil. Trainers are always evil.
Yeah.
One year, I remember it was before Connor and I got married, so this was a while ago. But he was like, he threw it out there. He was like, anybody want to do a push-up challenge with me? And I'm like, what does this entail? And he was like, 100 push-ups a day for a month. And I was like, I'm gonna hate you, but I guess I'll try.
Yeah, and then there's always like little challenges like here and there that you'll see, like especially for like veterans, and you do like the 22 a day, and that sort of thing.
He loves to do that.
I love to do that. I love to do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, as a veteran, thank you.
Yeah.
But now for somebody, an adaptive athlete that's just getting started, because you guys didn't always have a trainer. I mean, you guys were out there on your own.
Mm-hmm.
You recommend a trainer? Would you recommend somebody that has experience with your disability? Because
Troy's we pay them ahead of time to say yes, absolutely.
I know how,
because we do online training and set programs up for people. So we not really discuss that ahead of time. So go ahead, answer his question.
But he's experience as a trainer, he's been able to adapt, I guess,
for sure,
for my disability. I haven't gone to an amputee trainer. I've just gone to a trainer. But do you think having that trainer that has your same disability has helped you? Or do you think any trainer would be able to, would help?
You can go ahead.
Want me to go ahead?
Go ahead.
You could play off of what I was going to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I have been working out at the gym that we're currently at now, probably for 3 or 4 years. It's fairly new. And with the membership that you have, they offer free workouts with, like, you can work with a trainer whenever you want. Yeah. You could just schedule appointments with them. And I've worked with one before, and they're very shocked at like, oh, you can do this, or oh, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's always going through the gym, like finding us like, oh, do you guys need help? And we're like, no, we got it.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
So, I mean, yes, it is beneficial to have our friend that I mean, he doesn't work at a gym, but he's very experienced with different types of workouts from home.
Yeah.
Because I think he's mainly worked out from home.
Yeah.
The spina bifida, so he understands that disability.
Right.
I think, kind of like to piggyback off what you were saying, I think if you have somebody who kind of knows the background of your disability, but knows that you know, like tests your limits, you know, every so often, I think that person, you know, is like the way to go, because they just, if they know your limits, they know like how to push you. And just
Right.
so like just having somebody who knows a little bit of like background on either spina bifida, either you know, an amputee, you know, but still pushes you, I think that's like the best.
But in terms of, say, your guys's situation, it's probably an interesting / fun learning curve for Troy to figure out different workouts for you.
Yeah.
Sure.
He doesn't change the workouts a lot for me.
Just enough.
Well, I mean, you kind of have to because
Yeah.
you only have one leg.
Yeah.
But he pushes exactly like your turn. He'll push me. He knows.
Right.
He knows
Right.
what I used to be able to do as an able-bodied. So he'll
Right.
Yeah, and the thing on that, like that I always say is there are people, which is what you really just said, basically.
Mhm.
There are trainers who are decent trainers. They have a decent background, but they don't know anything about a particular field.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't
Right.
matter what it is. They may not have any knowledge of standard ice hockey. They know nothing about it.
Right.
Not the best guy to go to, but they're better than not going to somebody.
Yeah.
Correct.
Exactly.
Right.
Correct.
The odds of every person with some type of disability finding some trainer who's also doing your sport with your
Right.
pretty challenging, I would imagine, out there in the
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always look for somebody who has experience in that field, and better yet for the adaptive community,
which would
Yeah.
be somebody who has your disability,
Which
but
would be our
that would
field.
be,
Yeah.
yeah, they don't have to come to us.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they surely can. We'll
Yep,
take
yep.
them. We'll help.
Well, but that's something Troy offers, is that any adaptive athlete that is watching our videos, they can reach out to him and say, hey, I'm getting into this sport. I've got this disability. What can you write for me? Exactly what
Okay.
you guys did and what I did.
What's that?
Yeah.
Now,
Now,
ignore that.
because you guys have been doing this for a long time. For somebody that is just getting into adaptive sports, it's out there on YouTube and they go, oh my God, I want to be an adaptive athlete like Connor and Susie.
Mm-hmm.
What would be your one piece of advice?
You stole my question.
You guys are on the same page.
What would be your one piece of advice to somebody new that wants to try a new sport or just get into adaptive sports at all?
That's a good one.
That's a deep question. That is a
Yeah.
really deep question.
Even if it looks hard,
give
it a try.
I would, give it
know?
a try and don't quit, because you never. Do I tell them the story about water skiing?
No.
Yes, I think you mentioned that. We were going to talk.
Yeah, I was not like looking forward to going to water.
Thought he was going to hate it.
I thought I was going to absolutely hate it.
Now I can't get him out of the water.
Can't get me out of the water, and I was on the cover of one point of one of their magazines with like the biggest like grin on my face. So my advice,
where's this
copy of that cover?
Yeah.
I want that. I need your signature on it though. I want to sign it.
My advice to anybody who is just starting out, especially like those who come to sled hockey, you know, we have different. I feel like we have like different athletes, like, or different people wanting to try sled hockey like every other weekend,
all ages,
all ages. Yep. Is
any background, well, not any background, like any disabled
Yeah.
background,
don't
you know.
it's don't quit, because I mean, you could be on the next, Paralympic team. You could be on the next whatever team.
Whatever your goal is, you can reach it.
Don't quit, and seek the help, seek the knowledge of those who do it, on the daily, because our coaches, especially for hockey, are just like they're a plethora of knowledge, and they adapt it to sled hockey.
Yeah, our coaches are not to say some. Just talking about hockey, some coaches are disabled, but for example, our coaches are not.
Yep.
So they have to adapt. Just like Troy has to adapt some workouts for you. They have to learn. How to coach sled hockey,
Mm-hmm.
and they do it almost perfectly. It's
something
drills.
Since I've been with Mary Freebud, that the coaches are great. My teammates are always awesome. There's always so much support, the camaraderie. But you guys have played outside Mary Freebud. Have you run into that same thing with other teams, Connor, other teams you played with in Jersey, that there's so much support among, it's almost like a brotherhood?
Playing on the different teams, yes, it's definitely like it's a brotherhood, and sometimes a sisterhood, because you'll have people, you'll have it's co-ed. It's a co-ed sport, so
even though I'm the only woman on our adult team, it is co-ed.
So just having that camaraderie, and like there's people that I haven't seen in a couple of years that I still reach out to, from guys on the East Coast. And, when we get together at like nationals or different tournaments,
the classic.
Or the classic, different tournaments like that. It's like, you
I
catch up.
Seen you in forever.
Yeah. You catch up almost immediately. And the hockey community, especially, I always use the example of, with the service dogs. It's like, hey, don't touch me, I'm working. If you're at a sled tournament or a lacrosse tournament, it goes so far out the window as far as like, hey, don't pet me, because we've been around.
They're there, and you can't not pet them.
Exactly. They're there, and you cannot pet them at that point. So,
advice would be, if you're getting into it, go ahead and try it. You may not try it.
Go ahead and try it a couple of times.
Not only is it going to be, good health, a good workout, but it's going to be fun, and you're going to meet lifelong friends.
Yes, absolutely.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And see, that's what I've been preaching with Mary Freebud, but it's nice to hear that it's not just here in Grand Rapids and Michigan, that this is, you guys have played throughout the nation, and you're running a type of support, that camaraderie.